Jeshtam namapi Shachiputram atra surupam Rupam tasagrajamuri purim Maturim gosvatim Radha kundamagirivaram ahoradikamarvasam prapto yasya pratita kripaya Shri Gurum tam natosmi Goura-Vichar Goura-Chandraya Radhikaya Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hema Padyavyatstave Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Bina Aparana Lakshay Chittastu Kamaritorangamati Kripa Mahitam Saranam Brahmana Vrinde Namate Karanaravindam Vrinde Namate Karanaravindam Govinda Namo Ramaraveti Govinda Namo Ramaraveti Govinda Namo Ramaraveti Govinda Namo Ramaraveti. Everyone. Hey Krishna, Hey Rama, Hey Krishna Kriti, Govinda Namo Ramaraveti. Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smaraha Sumurali Manohara Radhikar Sukumama Kripa Nidhi Supriya Charana Kinkurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tyavana Iti Vigyaya Devi Tam Nayamam Charanantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dhanyavat Puspanjali. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, with that, yeah. So first of all, I offer my Sastang Dhanyavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadriya Paramaradatamma Guru Pada Padma, and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Par, Ashtotara Satasisimat, Rupa-Acharya Vaya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, So, today is very auspicious. All the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis have gathered together to celebrate the birthday of our Balaram Prabhu. So the Vaishnavas, they're the greatest treasure of our life. Where would we be without the association of Vaishnavas? So, I want to thank him and Rati Manjari and the whole family for very kindly hosting me here during my brief visit to New York. And also I am very grateful to all of you. I know you are very busy and maybe you have better things to do than to come and spend some time with me. So I'm very grateful that you come and that you all give me your darshan. This is why I came to New York, to have darshan of the Vaishnavas. And purify myself. So, today we want to speak about our most beloved Sri Sachinandan Gaur-Hari. Gauranga nohito tabiki hoite kemani daritam de. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had not appeared in this world in Kali Yuga, then where would we be? What would we understand about spiritual life? Kali Yuge Sadhu Paiva Duskara Janiya Sadhu Guru Rupe Krishna Ashila Nadiya. In this age of Kali, it's very difficult to find a real sadhu, an actual transcendentalist, an associate of God. One, sadhu means sadbhave, sadhubhave, who has a sambandha, has a relationship with the sadhavastu, with the eternal reality of Sri Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. It's called a sadhu. So such persons, they are very rare. How can we recognize them? So, Kali Yuga, Sarupaiva Doskarajaniya, it's very difficult to know who is a sadhu in this Kali Yuga. Therefore, Sadhu Guru Rupe Krishna Asila Nadiya, Krishna himself, from Goloka Vrindavan, he appeared in Nadia Navadvip Dham, playing the role of a devotee to show us this path of bhakti. Apani karimu bhakt bhavayangi kare, apani achari bhakti shikamu sabare. See, Krishna thought, I will descend to this world in the mood of a devotee, and I will show everyone how to traverse this path of pure bhakti by my own example. Apanina kaila dharma sikanana yoy, eito siddhanta gita bhagavata gai. Unless one teaches by his own example, then his words will not be effective. If someone is only the Paropadesh Pandit, very learned at giving instructions to others, but not following themselves, then their words, they are not effective. They cannot change anyone. They're like having a gun with the blank bullets. They make a noise but no effect. So, Goura Rami Goura Ami Muki Bolili Nahi Chali Goura-Achar Goura-Vichar Lali Fale Fale. Sri Jagannananda Pandit said, there are many persons who say, I am a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I belong to Gaura, to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. By their mouth they say, but they don't follow him. Only when we follow Goura-Achar and Goura-Vichar, then the fruit comes. So Goura-Achar means his lifestyle, his behavior. And Goura-Vichar means his deep philosophical deliberations on Siddhanta, meaning of Shastra. So two things in our life, we have to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Achar and Vichar. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught, even though there are many different practices of bhakti, many different ways to perform bhakti yoga, but 5 are extremely, inconceivably powerful. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Sravan, Mathura Vasa Srimotira, Sadhya Sevan. These 5, associating with sadhus, chanting Sri Harinam Sankirtan, the holy names, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in the holy place like Braj Mandal, Jagannath Puri Dham, Navadip Dham, and serving Vigraha, the deity of Krishna, with faith. So Rupa Goswami, he said, Daruat Bhuta Viryaismin, Sradha Durais Tupanchake, Yatra Sopopi Sambandha Sadhyam Bhava Janmane. That the power of these 5 practices of bhakti is so immense, it is so inconceivable. Even the scriptures themselves, they cannot express how powerful these angas of bhakti are. They are beyond the limitation of human intelligence. They are so powerful that Sradha Durais Tupanchake, even a person has not developed a very strong, firm faith yet. Their firm faith is far away. Sradha Durais Tupanchake. But Yatra Swalpopi Sambandha, by a little contact, by a slight contact with any of these 5 angas of bhakti, then Sadhyam Bhav Janmane, Bhav. It will appear in the heart. Bhav means ecstatic emotional relationship with Krishna. It will come just like that. Someone may say, but wait a minute, you have to go through all these stages. Adho Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Natana Viti Nishtarucha Saki Bhav. But Mahaprabhu told, no. Satyam Bhava Janmane, by a slight contact with these 5, then Bhav Janmane, the ecstatic love for Krishna will come straight away. But there's some small print condition. There's a condition, Sadhyam. Sadhyam means that one should not be critical. This is a big problem, because in the material world, the opposite of love is envy. The spiritual world is full of love, the material world is full of envy. So due to envy, we engage in criticizing others. This is a problem. So those who are critical and hypocritical, they cannot be called saddhi, smooth-hearted. And therefore, even though bhakti is excessively, extremely, inconceivably powerful to bestow love for Krishna, but we don't feel the effect. This is tragic. This is a real tragedy. Romeo and Juliet is not tragic. Sinking of the Titanic, it is not tragic. Tragic thing is that bhakti is so powerful, it can give love in a moment, but we're not getting it. Why? A critical mind. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, very important, how to overcome this. Trinadapi sunitena, tarodapi sesuna, amanena manadeya, kirtaniya sudai. One should consider oneself to be more utterly worthless than dry straw. Tolerate everything without complaining. Even when you yourself are suffering, like a tree in the heat, burning in the heat but giving shade to others. Don't worry about your own misery. Try to help others. Like a tree. Being very generous. Tree gives anyone goes to a tree, they ask for anything, they can take anything the tree is giving without holding back anything. And the manadena, be without any pride, don't demand respect from others and give respect to others. And then, when we're properly respecting others, jive saman dive jani Krishna adhisthana, knowing that Krishna is in the heart of everyone, then we can give up this critical tendency. So, Rupa Goswami said, Susrusrayo bhajana vigyamananyamanya nindari sundar hidam ipsita sangalabhya. If someone is chanting Hare Krishna, from our heart we respect them. But if someone has diksha in the real sense of the word, they have initiation from a sadhguru, and they have some realization of the deity of their mantra, then we should not only respect them from the heart, but we should physically bow down and give pranam.
Yeah.
But sushustoyo bhajana bhigyamananya manya nindadi shunyaridam ipsista sangalabdya. If there's a devotee who's bhajan vigya, they have realization of Radha Krishna's service internally. How can you tell if they have that or not? Nindadi shunyam rhythm. That person's heart is completely free from any propensity to criticize another person. Anyone. They don't criticize the good, they don't criticize the bad also. Nothing. Because all the qualities of this world, we see in a person what is good and what is bad. The good qualities are from Sattva Gun, and the bad qualities are from Rajagun and Tamagun. So if your mind is absorbed in thinking someone's good qualities and bad qualities, your mind is absorbed in Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Daiviyasha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Now you're in the three gunas. Yeah, in the three modes. Okay? So Krishna told Uddhav, Parasvabhava Karmani Na Prasangsati Nindati Sa Asubrasate Pumbera Sattabiniveshata. Never praise or criticize the good or bad qualities, material qualities of any person, their character or their activities. Why? Because if you do, you'll lose the thread of your own self-interest. Your own path in spiritual life will be lost. Why? Satya biniveshata, because now you become asatya binivesh, absorbed in asat, temporary, material, illusory, three gunas. Like that. Every moment that you think of another person's faults, qualities, bad qualities, or speak about them, then each second of your life is ticking away. And lost. Gelo yedi vasana asivaya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, those days which have gone will never come back. Oh Krishna, now my life is almost over. What will I do now? Oh Krishna, and now I am 60 years old. What will I do? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't criticize it. If you speak ill of someone, all their bad qualities, when you criticize them, you build a bridge between your heart and their heart, and then all their bad qualities come marching over the bridge, and before you know it, what you're saying about them, you are doing yourself. Huh? Why do that? It's like taking a pea on an electric wire. What will happen? The wire will not be harmed, but some problem will come to you. So don't touch that electricity. The faults of others. Don't touch it. Don't think about it. Because you'll be zapped by that. All those qualities will come. Vishwadev has said that when you criticize a person, then whatever you are criticizing them for, the karma for that will come to you. If what you say is true, and if what you're telling about that person is false, then double the karma will come to you. So, this mood of respecting everyone, not criticizing anyone, why do we do this? This is not just to be nice. This is to not be in Maya. Consider it very, very carefully. Very carefully. We have this mentality to find fault, to look for the dosh, the defect in others. But this means now I am in illusion. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 5, there Krishna said, Na kartritvam, na karmani. Krishna is saying, Lokasya srijati prabhu, na kama phala samyogam, subhavastu pravartate. It's a very important verse. It's a little profound, it's a little difficult to understand. I remember when I was a young devotee, I read this 1,000 times, I couldn't understand it. Fortunately, by the mercy of Gurudev and Vaishnavas, now I have some theoretical understanding of this. Krishna is saying, Na kartritvam, na karmani, lokasya srijati prabhu. Prabhu. that is God, Supreme Lord Krishna, He does not create kartritva. That means the ego, the tendency coming from the ego to do activities in this world. That is called kartritva. The instigation to act. So God Himself does not instigate the living beings to act in a particular way. Right? Na kartritvam na karmani. The Supreme Lord does not create also the activities. He does not instigate them. He does not create the activities. Na karma phala samyogam. And the Supreme Lord does not bring the living entity also in, does not create the fruit of the action and bring the living entity in contact with the fruit of action. So there are three things: instigating your activities, performing the activities, and then getting the reaction of the activities. So Prabhu, that is Krishna, he is not doing this. Now, Baladeva Debushan, Srila Baladeva Debushan, Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya, and Srila Vishnu Thakur, they have commented slightly different on this verse. One said Prabhu means Krishna, and another tells Prabhu means the Jiva himself. So both interpretations are there. The reason is, in the previous verse, Krishna said that the living entity who is master of his senses lives peacefully in the city of 9 gates. Right? So this body is a city of 9 gates because there are 9 entrances into the body. So the living entity is like a king living in the city peacefully when his senses are under control. And that is why Srila Vishnu Thakur, he's saying here the word Prabhu is referring to the Jiva because he became master of his senses and master of that city. So both interpretations are there. Prabhu in this verse, it can mean the Jiva or it can mean Krishna. So the translation, when we take it to mean Krishna, we already discussed. Krishna does not instigate your activities. He does not create the activities themselves, and he does not bring about the union with the fruit of the activity. Or we can say that the Jiva also, the soul, is not instigating activities, creating his activities, or bringing about his union with the result of activities. So now we have a problem. There's a big problem, because by our eyes, when we look at the world and we see everything going on, we think this person is doing this person is doing that. And we blame them. But Krishna is saying no. The Jiva is like sleeping. He's in sleeping state. The Jiva is not instigating the activities, performing the activities, or arranging the result. And then, well, what about God? Sometimes something happens in a person's life and they say, God, why did you do this to me? Like this. So somehow or other we always want to point the finger that, oh, this person is doing this person, oh, God is doing it. But in this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, no, it's not a fact. Jiva is not responsible, God is also not responsible. So then the question comes, who's responsible? We have to find someone responsible, right? And hold them responsible and give them a piece of our mind.
Senses in contact with nature.
So he said, Swabhavastu pravartate. Swabhavastu pravartate. Means, what is making everything going on is called Swabhav. Swabhav is a technical term in Vedanta. It means that the foundation of your subtle body. Your subtle body has 4 parts. Manas, mind, it's accepting and rejecting. Sankalpa, vikalpa. Buddhi, intelligence. So the buddhi does the functions of memory, that is the smriti, vikalpa, imagination, praman, identifying objects, nidra, going to sleep, like this, and praman, nidra, smriti, vikalpa, viparyaya. These are the functions of buddhi. So if your buddhi is functioning, and it will make order out of what's going on inside your head, in your thoughts. Some of your thoughts are memories, Some of your thoughts are your creativity, your imagination. Some of your thoughts are identifying objects really in the world, like that. If your intelligence is disturbed, then you go crazy. Because you can't discriminate between what is real and what is imagination, what is a memory and whether it really happened or it didn't. And then you become, crazy. Like so when your buddhi is functioning, all your thoughts are in order. So there's manas, buddhi, then ahankar. Ahankar means ego. And last element in the subtle body is called chitta. Chitta. It's the mahatattva, the element of mahatattva from the universe. The part of that which is in your subtle body is called chitta. So that chitta, that is your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind. And it is filled with samskars, impressions. Every moment your cameras are rolling. Like your smartphone is filming everything. But you have two cameras here, and your ears, nose, all senses are taking in information all the time, and everything is being recorded and kept as samskars, impressions in your chitta. And those impressions you have from this life, from previous lives, and from thousands and thousands of lives going back to when? Anadi. Anadikal. No beginning. No beginning. Krishna Bodhi say Jeev, Anadir Bahimukha. The living entity has, his consciousness has been looking away from Krishna from time with no beginning. So, because the sanskars in our subtle mind, in our subtle body, in chitta, they are coming into our conscious mind one by one, gradually, every day. And so when the impression from the subconscious mind, from the chitta, comes in manas, into the conscious mind, then we are thinking, oh, I just had an idea. You wake up in the morning, what will I do today? Okay, I'm going to go to the cinema. Yeah? But actually, this was a samskar, an impression from before, like an echo of the past, from the subconscious mind, came in the conscious mind, it appeared there, but because we think, I am this mind, now we're very proud and I just had a very good idea. Yeah? We are thinking we are independent and we're making all our decisions in real time, but we are like a bull with a ring through the nose just being dragged around. Like that. But because of the darkness of our chitta is dark. So these impressions, these echoes are coming one by one, and we think, now I am choosing, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am free. Liberty, freedom. Huh? But everyone is like a bull with a ring through the nose. They're completely bound by their karma. You see? So Krishna is saying, all these activities, everything which is going on, is coming from Swabhav. Swabhav means the conglomerate, the totality of samskars which are lodged in the chitta of each living being. And as they're coming into the mind, so they're going along like that. Like the flow of a river is going on, each soul is just flowing along. Swabhav as to pravartate. Pravartate means like the flow. The flow of activities is coming from the samskars, impressions in the chitta. And those impressions, they have no beginning. So the living being is not responsible for those, ultimately, for those impressions, because they have no beginning. So that which has no beginning has no cause, no first point. So, if every single person in the world is under the control of their anadi sanskars, and they're not responsible for, there was no first point, then who is responsible? Where is the fault? No fault at all. So Vaishnavas, they don't criticize anyone. They feel compassion for them. That's the difference. The Vaishnavas see, here is a soul who is in the flow of anadi karma. No need to criticize him, no need to blame him. Have to help him. Because he's in that flow. Why? Because anadir bahimukh. His consciousness is turned away from Krishna. From time with no beginning. So we have to turn the consciousness back towards Krishna. Now no one can do that by themselves. It's impossible. You can take your own pulse and see if you are Bahimukh, that means turned away from Krishna, or Krishnamukh, turned towards Krishna. When you wake up in the morning, then how do you feel? What do you think? Need a coffee? I'm gonna, whatever, go on Facebook, whatever it is. What is coming in the mind? Then you see a picture of, oh yeah, Krishna, God, that person, Krishna. I have to chant. Where did I put my mana? So, that is called Bahimukata. That somehow or other we remember Krishna now and then, but basically our consciousness is looking in another direction. You know? So, how will the living being, how will his consciousness be turned that his heart is facing Krishna? Always. Avits Chinna Thaila Daravat. Srila Rupa Goswami Padi said, Anyabhlasta Sunyam Jnana Kamat Pinavatam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Anu means Nirantaryamai. All the activities of the body, mind and words. Just like if you pour honey from a jar, it comes out, not like water splashing here and there. The honey in the jar comes out in a thick stream.
Unbroken.
Yeah, unbroken. So, when our thoughts, our words, our activities are all in a thick, unbroken stream of favorable service to Krishna, that is called bhakti, Uttama bhakti. Now we are not Bahimukh. So how will that stage come? Only by sadhu sangha. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching 5 practices of bhakti are extremely powerful. The first one is sadhu sangha. Janasya Krishnad vimukasya daivat adharma shilasya sudukitasya anugrahaya charantinunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. Here Vidura is speaking to Maitreya in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He's saying, the living entities in this world, sudukitasya, they are very sad. They are suffering so many difficult conditions. And they are Janasya Krishna Vimukha, they are Krishna Vimukh, Bahimukh. Their consciousness is turned away from Krishna. Why? Daivat. Here Daivat means Anadi Sanskar. Due to their endless impressions, they are just involved in the world all the time. How can they be changed? Anugrahaya charantinam bhutani bhabhyani janadanasya. There are certain persons who have a sambandha, loving relation with Janardan Sri Krishna. And anugrahaya charantinunam, charanti means they're wandering across the surface of the earth. This is in the present tense. Some persons sometimes say, there's no sadhus in the world now. Some people think like this. There used to be sadhus, but not now. But in Srimad Bhagavatam's Charantinuna, they are wandering across the surface of the earth. They will always be. Why? Because the purpose of this world is to give a chance for the jivas to develop praying for Krishna. So if there's no sadhu in the universe, no need of the universe. Krishna would not even create the universe without the sadhus being there. Because he creates it for the sadhus, for them to wander and bestow mercy upon the jivas. So, such Vaishnavas, they're always there in this world. If we can have relation, if we can have sangha, association with them, then our Bahimukata, it can be completely removed. So, Goura-Vichar, Goura-Achar, we have to follow. In relation to Sadhu Sangha, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastri Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. All the scriptures are stressing this point, the association of sadhus. Why? Because there's something very special in this. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving teachings to Srila Sanatana Goswami, Sadhu Sangha saying this, he gave an example from Srimad Bhagavatam. It was a verse was spoken by Muchukunda Maharaj, he was offering his prayers to Sri Krishna. After Muchukunda had killed Kalayavan, then he was praying to Sri Krishna. And he said, Bhavapavago Brahmato Yadabhavets Janasya Tahyachuta Satsangamo Yahi Tadaiva Satgato Paravarishe Tvai Jayaterati. So very beautiful verse. I remember the day when my Gurudev told me, you must learn this verse. Staying in this very small apartment in Singapore, I remember. And he said, do you know? Bhava Bhavago Janato Yada. You must learn it. It means Bhava Bhavago. There is the Bhava Apavaga. Bhava means material existence. A living entity, when he is apavaga, becoming free, liberated from material existence, then Tadaiva Sadgato, at that time, then he gets sadhu sangha, and by that sadhu sangha, love for Krishna awakens in his heart. So, it's a strange thing. Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, when first you are liberated, when you are liberated, then you get sadhu sangha, and then you get love for Krishna. Now someone's going to say, wait a minute. You have to be liberated first, then you have sadhu sangha. I thought you have sadhu sangha first, by sadhu sangha you get liberated. Okay? So this is poetry. In Sanskrit poetry, there's one alankar, one figure of speech. It's called Atishayokti alankar. It's a kind of exaggeration. When cause and effect are exchanged, they are swapped over in the description in order to emphasize how the certainty, the absolute certainty of a cause producing an effect in the most effective way. For example, a poet, he may write that the villain fell to the ground dead and the hero drew his sword. Now what really happened? Actually the hero drew his sword and then the villain fell to the ground dead. But the poet says it the other way around, using Atishayokti Alankar to show how it was so fast, it was so effective, that it was almost instantaneous. So in the same way, Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us that the power of sadhu sangha, it is so powerful, it is so effective, that you must very soon be liberated if you associate with the sadhu, and then you will attain love for Sri Krishna. Paravare Paraveshe Tvai Jayate Rati. Then they get love for you. Now, how does this happen? It's very important. In this verse he's saying, Tadaiva Sadgato. Sadgato means a spurti of Krishna. Spurti of Krishna. Spurti means a bursting, a vision. When our heart, the chitta, is cleansed a little bit. Mahaprabhu said, Chaito Darpana Marjanam. When the chitta is a little cleansed from chanting the holy name, then when you come in the association of a sadhu, and the sadhu is speaking Harikatha, at that time, by the power of his association and the power of his words, you get a glimpse, a vision for a moment in your heart of the lotus feet of Krishna. Then that's called Spurti. Sadgato here means Spurti. So once you have that experience, then that's it. Now I'm a devotee now. Now you become Vaishnava, actually. And then that Spurti becomes clearer and clearer, and gradually, Paravare Tvai Jayate Rati. Jayate Rati means by that association, you get Rati Bhav, your eternal relationship with Krishna. So, the meaning here is that when the chitta becomes more clean like a mirror, when we're listening to Harikatha, when we're listening to the kirtan of Krishna's name, then the bhav, the ecstatic love which is in the heart of that devotee, then it's reflected into our heart. That's how we attain bhav. That's how we become established in our loving relationship with Krishna. So associating again and again with sadhus, they give us this spurti, some realization, and gradually it becomes clearer and clearer, and then the ecstatic love for Krishna is reflected to us, and we attain our fruit of our sadhana. That is the bhav. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this to Srila Sanatana Goswami. That is Goura-Vichar. And Goura-Achar, he lived it in his life also. In his own life, you know. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was young teenager, he was Nimai Pandit. He was just a scholar. He was into Nyay, Nyay logic, and Vyakaranam, Sanskrit grammar, and quarreling with everyone about these things. And he was quite puffed up fellow. But at that time, one Vaishnava came to Navadvip Dham. His name was Srila Ishwarapuri. So Srila Ishwarapuri, he had written a poem called Krishna Lilamrita. And he was giving class on his own poetry every day in the house of Gopinath Acharya. So at that time, Gadadhar Pandit, from birth, he was a great Vaishnava. He was going to class every day with Ishwarapuri there. And Nimai Pandit, he thought, oh, let me go also. So Nimai Pandit, he was going and he was listening to the class of Srila Ishwarapuri. At that time, Ishwarapuri knew, oh, this Nimai, he's a great scholar of Sanskrit grammar. So maybe he should check my poem, he should proofread it to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. So the Ishwarapuri gave him, he said, you can check it for some mistakes. But Nimai Pandit, he said, Murko Dhiro Vadati Vishnave, Murko Vadati Vishnaya, Dhiro Vadati Vishnave, Ubayatu Samam Punyam, Bhavagrahi Janardanaha. It means that if someone knows Sanskrit grammar, when they make an offering to Vishnu, what do they say? Vishnave, unto Vishnu. But a murka, a foolish person who doesn't know any Sanskrit grammar, they think, oh, when you offer to Krishna, you say Krishnaya. When you offer to Govinda, you say Govindaya. So when you offer to Vishnu, then you say Vishnaya. But the grammar is not like that, because Vishnu ends with you, not in an egg. So Mahaprabhu said, the person who doesn't know Sanskrit grammar, instead of saying Vishnave Namaha, he'll say Vishnaya Namaha. However, Ubayotu Samam Punyam, both of them, they get the same benefit, whether they say the mantra correctly or they say it incorrectly. Why? Bhavagrahi Janardana. Because Krishna is Bhavagrahi. He only accepts your bhav, your mood. Krishna never looks whether you're rich or poor, young or old, educated or not educated. He never looks at any of your material qualities, good or bad. Krishna is only interested in your love. So if a person has some affection, then Krishna sees that even if they say all the mantras wrong. He doesn't care. This is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He is that Janardana who just accepts the bhav, the sentiments of his devotee. So, Nimai Pandit said, you cannot make any mistake, because you have a love for Krishna. Our Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to say, if someone doesn't have love for Krishna, if they quote the verse correctly with the chapter and the verse number and the page number, everything perfectly, but they're still wrong. They're still wrong. Because what they said never pleased Krishna, because they don't have any love for him. And if a pure devotee quotes the verse wrong, mixes up some words or something, he's still right. Why? Because what is right and what is wrong? Right is loving Krishna, and wrong is not loving him. This is the thing. So for several months, Nimai Pandit was going and he was listening to the class of Srila Ishwarapuri. But he was just listening and appreciating. But later, when his father, Jagannath Mishra, passed away, then he travelled from Navadvip and he went to Gaya to do Pinda for his father. And when he arrived there, again, by good fortune, he saw that Srila Ishwarapuri was there. So this time, Nimai Pandit, by that association, gradually he changed. And this time, when he met Srila Ishwarapuri, Prabhu kohi tirth jatra shafalayama yadakshana dekailam chane tumar. He said, now my visit to the holy place is safal, successful. It became successful the very second my eyes saw your lotus feet. Huh? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown in his own life, why do we go to the holy place? Sadhu Sangha. Without associating with pure devotees, everything is useless. Huh? So, not only that, but after his initiation, he was completely changed. And later, when he left, he took sannyas, he left Navadvip, he went to Jagannath Puri, stayed there very briefly, and then he set off for the tour of South India. Everyone knows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to South India because he was looking for his brother. But actually that was a pretext. It was an excuse. The real reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Puri and went to South India is because he heard there was a Rasik Vaishnava living on the bank of Godavari, Vishakhapatnam. There. He'd heard there was someone called Ramananda Rai. And he knew, my Gurudev explained a very beautiful point once. He said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was more humble than a blade of grass. He was Trinada Piswani Chena. He had lobe, he had greed to serve Krishna. He had Diksha from a Mahabhagavad Vaishnava. And even he took sannyas. But though he did all of these things, his desire was still not fulfilled. And that's why he went in search. I need Braj Rasik Vaishnav Sangha. So what we're discussing here, Goura-Vichar. What is Mahaprabhu's philosophy? What did he teach? And now Goura-Achar, what did he show by his life's example? Even though he went through so much and he was so qualified, but still his ultimate desire to realize Radhabhav was not fulfilled. So he went in search of Braj Rasik Vaishnava to hear from him, and then his desire could be fulfilled. So Shastra says, Janana Maranadi Samsara Anala Santapta Dipta Shirsha Jalarashimiva. The meaning is that for a person who is in this world of birth and death, which is like a fire, then you should run at once. Don't delay. To find sadhu. How? Just like Santapta Dipta Shirsha Jalarashimiva means just like a person whose hair is on fire. Can you imagine? Your seeker's on fire. Then what do? You run to find some water very fast. If your seeker's on fire, you won't sit there and say, I'll go next Kartik to Vrindavan. Right? No. If your hair is on fire, at once you go. Like this. So Mahaprabhu showed by his teaching and in his life the importance of sadhu sangha. So sadhu sangha, nama kirtan. Nam kirtan. When Mahaprabhu was in Navadvip, whole night he used to go to the house of Srivas Thakur and he used to do Harinam Sankirtan all night. And Mahaprabhu's teaching, that's his achar, his vichar, his teaching on Nam, is very unique. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, he said, Prema nama bhutata sravana patakata kassa namna mahimna koveita kasya vrindava vana vipina mahamadhurisha pravesha kova jana tiradam paramarasam chamatkara madhurya singam ekas chaitanya chandraha paramakarunaya sarvamavis chakaraha. Only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no one else, came to this world and discovered and revealed the glories of Prem, Nam, Sankirtan. I tell you frankly, there are so many different sampradayas, Vaishnav sampradayas even, and they also chant the holy name. But actually their kirtan and our kirtan following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quite different. The reason is this. They make a temple, they have a deity, and they sing kirtan. Their kirtan is one aspect of their archant to the deity. Because the angas of bhakti, they can be one thing, or they can be a complex of many different practices. For example, one anga of bhakti is, if you see the deity going on procession, you follow him. So that's just one activity. But some angas of bhakti are a complex of many activities, like archan. Archan is putting on tilak is archan, remembering Gayatri mantra is archan, cooking for the deity is archan, dressing the deity, everything. So, in that archan, one aspect is doing kirt, singing for the deity. So it's a sub-limb of the anga of bhakti called archan. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nava Vida Bhakti Purna Nama Hoite Hoi. All the angas of bhakti, every single one of them, is performed completely simply by chanting the holy names. Mahaprabhu's teaching is very specific on this. When his guru gave him initiation, Mahaprabhu, he began to chant the holy names and he became mad in separation. He was crying, singing, dancing, rolling on the ground. He went back to his Gurudev. He said, "Oh Gurudev, Kiba mantra dili gosai, kiba tarbal, jopite japite mantra koile pagal." Gurudev, what kind of mantra did you give me? I was repeating it and now I became cuckoo. Pagal. I became crazy. What's going on? His Gurudev said, "You are very lucky. Very fortunate. And I am fortunate to have a disciple like you. Don't worry. Krishna Nama Maha Mantra Eito Swabhav Jai Jape Tare Krishna Upajai Bhav." He said, "My dear boy, this is the nature of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Those who repeat this mantra, then ecstatic emotions rise up in their heart." So then he became satisfied. And Mahaprabhu himself, he taught, he said, "Ekanama Basa Tomara Papa Dosa Jabe Arnamloite Krishna Charna Paibe." If you chant one Nam Abbas, one semblance, not pure name, only one Nam Abbas, then all your pap, all your sins are destroyed. That's the effect of the first name. Huh? You just tell one name, Krishna, all your pap is destroyed, first name. And second name, Arnam Loite, Krishna Charna Paibe. Then the next time you chant, you attain the lotus feet of Krishna. They become your property. This is Mahaprabhu's teaching about the power of the holy name. It's experienced by those who don't commit aparads. Aparads to Vaishnavas, to the deity, those who don't commit aparad, they can experience this. The destruction of all sins with one name, and then the attainment of Krishna's lotus feet with the other. Otherwise, those who have some history in this life and previous life of aparads, they go through the stages of bhakti, shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana, kriya, natana, vritti. These are the gradual stages of a clearing of the effects of aparads, clearing of anartha, leading to prem. But actually the name is so powerful, it gives prem just like that. Otherwise, if there's offense present, then only those stages are coming. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Taramadjay sarvasesta nama sankirtan, niraparad nam laipai premadam." Out of all the practices of bhakti, Harinam Sankirtan is best. And if you chant without offense, at once you'll attain Krishna Prem. Nishta hoila upajoy premara taranga. So, Mahaprabhu, by his teaching, he emphasized Harinam Sankirtan. And also, in his life. What can we say about his life? You know, the moment Nimai Pandit, our Vishwambar Mishra, was born, that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's passport name, Vishwambar Mishra. Vishwambar, the son of Jagannath Mishra. So, the moment he was born, it was a lunar eclipse. Right? So in India, people know that if you go out at the time of the lunar eclipse, then Rahu will steal all your punya, will steal all your piety, all your good karma. So people are afraid of the inauspicious action of the lunar eclipse. So when there's a lunar eclipse, they protect themselves, so they go in the Ganga, they submerge themselves in the Ganga, and they chant Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. So from the very moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he caused the whole world to chant the holy name. And then even being a little baby, he was crying all the time. And then someone chanted Hare Krishna, and he stopped crying. They noticed, oh, this baby stops crying when you chant Hare Krishna. Huh? So like this, and if they stop chanting, then the baby would cry again, then everyone had to Hare Krishna, to stop the baby from crying. So from the very beginning of his life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inspiring everyone to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What to speak of from the beginning of his life? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inspiring people to chant Hare Krishna before he appeared even. Did you know?
No.
Yeah, yes. Let me tell you one pastime of Gaura Lila. Very instructive and very beautiful. So perhaps you know that Nimai Pandit, he used to go every evening to the house of Srivas Thakur, and he was absorbed in his pastimes as a devotee. But at a certain point, he wanted to reveal to the world that actually he was Krishna himself. So one evening, in the house, in the courtyard of Srivas Anga, Srivas Thakur, all devotees were there doing kirtan. And Mahaprabhu became so shiny, such golden effulgence, that the whole courtyard of Srivas Thakur, it looked like Ilavrita-Vash. You know Ilavrita-Vash? Ilavrita-Vash is next to Mount Meru, Golden Mountain. And when the sun rises, it reflects, and the whole of Ilavrita-Vash becomes bathed in golden light. So the whole Srivas Anga became bathed in the golden light of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he became completely absorbed in ecstasy, and he went up to the altar of Srivas Thakur, where manifesting the ecstasy and revealing that he was the Supreme Lord to all the devotees. When the devotees saw this, they were astonished, they were weeping, they were rolling on the ground. My next door neighbor, Nimai Pandit, is Supreme Lord Krishna, and he has revealed himself, sitting on my altar. Srivas Thakur was saying, oh, he told his brother, Sri Ram Pandit, bring water for Abhishek. He told Mukunda, oh Mukunda, bring the paraphernalia for the puja. Gadada Pandit, bring some garlands and some change of clothes. And the ladies of the house, they were running to the Ganges and they were bringing pots and everything. And they arranged to do the Abhishek of Mahaprabhu. So then the devotees, they were pouring the water on Mahaprabhu, and his Charnamrita was flowing everywhere, while other devotees were chanting Purusha Shukta. Sahasra Shisha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapati Sabhumin Vishito Vritta Atyatistat Starangalam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yatstavabhyam Utamritatpasyeshana Yadannena Tirohati. Beautiful Vedic mantras were being sung, and all devotees, they were having darshan of Nimai Pandit. He was showing, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the Abhishek was over, they dried him, they gave him fresh cloth, fresh garlands. His eyes were closed, and then finally he opened his beautiful lotus eyes. His eyes were like lotuses with the honey coming out. That's the honey of his mercy on the devotees. And all the devotees fell down and gave Dandavat Pranam at his feet, and he was keeping his lotus feet on their heads, and he was blessing them. Then he said, oh Advaita Acharya, I came to this world. Why? Because I was brought here by your sweet humble prayers. I could not resist. Jeha Nilo Prema Dhamma Koruna Praju Heno Prabhu Kotagela Advaita Acharya Thakur. Advaita Acharya brought the treasure of Prem to this world in the form of Mahaprabhu by his very sweet and humble prayers. Mahaprabhu said this. But Advaita Acharya, he said, my Lord, I am an insignificant and foolish person. I don't know anything. And who are you? Then Advaita Acharya quoted one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, my Lord, Uddhava said, Eita param tanubrito bhuvi gopavaddu Govinda eva nikilatmat ruda bhava Vanchanti yad bhava biyo muniyo vayamcha Kim brahma jamma bir ananta katara sasya. Uddhavji said, of all the living entities in the universe, only those who have taken birth as cowherd girls, as gopis in Vrindavan, their life is successful. Only their life is fully successful. Why? Govindameva Nikalatmani Ruda Bhava. Even though Sri Krishna is the Nikalatma, is the source of Paramatma. Paramatma Ekam Shaina Stito Jagat. The Paramatma is only a tiny spark of the splendor of Sri Krishna. But those gopis of Vrindavan, they have Ruda Bhava for him. Natural love. But he's my boyfriend. He's my secret beloved. Vantanti yad bhava biyo muniyo vayamcha. All the sages, the rishis, Uddhav says, myself, even Shukadev Goswami, Vyasadev, Narad Muni, we all want to love like those gopis. But alas, alas, we are not qualified to have a love like them. Kim Brahma Janma Bir Ananta Katara Sasya. If a person has taste in hearing about the love of the gopis of Vrindavan, then what is the use for them of taking birth as Lord Brahma, the highest person in the universe? No need. And Anantikata Arasasya, if you don't have taste in hearing the glories of the gopis of Vrindavan, if you take birth as Lord Brahma, then what's the point? Useless. You're all useless. Why? Because if you have taste in hearing the glories of the love of the gopis of Vrindavan for Sri Krishna, especially Srimati Radhika, then that taste is a bij, it's a seed. It will grow, it will become Mahabhav, and you'll be one of those gopis one day. So, Advaita Acharya said, my Lord, you have come into this world, and with your cupped hands, cupping your hands, you are drinking deeply of the beautiful sweet nectar of the gopis' love of Vrindavan. And all I want to do is figure out, when some drops fall through your fingers, how to catch it. This is my position. Advaita Acharya was speaking like this. So then, Mahaprabhu, he was giving benedictions to different devotees. And he turned to Srivas Thakur. He said, Hey Srivas, do you remember when with my hand I stopped your pran from leaving your body? Srivas Thakur thought for a moment, then he realized, yes, I remember. Now, no one knew, what is this? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the Srivas Thakur from dying? No one knew this. They all became amazed. Mahaprabhu said, Srivas Thakur, if you remember, tell everyone. So then Srivas Thakur turned to the devotees. He said, I have to admit, when I was young, when I was 16 years old, I was a wild person. I was sinful. I was arrogant. I was offensive to Guru and the Brahmanas. I thought I was so intelligent, my mind was awash with the waves of many different contentious theories, philosophical ideas. And I was completely wayward. But one day, when I was 16, at night, I was asleep. And in my dream, a person came to me and said, Oh, you Brahmin in name only, no one can teach you anything. I know. But I have to tell you something. You have exactly 1 year to live. Don't waste it. And then that person disappeared. Srivas Thakur, he was telling everyone. Then I woke up from the dream. And I thought, oh, I'm only 16. I am going to live for 1 year till I'm 17 and die. Don't waste my time. I don't know what to do. So I went and I looked for some Shastra. And I found one book. And I picked up, what's this? Naradiya Purana. So I thought, let me open, and I opened it, and I opened it, and I opened it on one verse, and I read the verse. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva 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 Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way of deliverance than the chanting of the holy name, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Then I thought, oh, God is speaking to me through the Shastra. I must follow this. So then I never told anyone, I never told anything to anyone about this. But I just, 10 months, 3 months, 2 months, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. 1 week, 2 days, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I left all my foolish activities, all sinful activities, all nonsense, everything. And I was just day and night, I was just chanting. And on the last day, then I thought, I need sadhu sangha. And I heard that someone was giving Bhagavatam class. Devananda Pandit was giving Bhagavatam class at his house. So I thought, it's my last day, I should go. So then I went, there were many people there, it was very full. So I was on one balcony on the first floor, and I was listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was telling the glories of Prahlad Maharaj. So I was there, I was chanting. Then I came and I was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, and the last moment of my life came. And I stopped breathing. I was dead. And I fell from the balcony on the first floor, down into the courtyard. But then, someone came to me and put his hand on my chest. Said, get up. And then at once I opened my eyes. That person again disappeared. And there was a crowd of people around me. But from that moment, I was never the same. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, that person who came in your dream, it was me. And that person who put his hand on your chest and stopped your prans from leaving, that was me. I gave you new life. And from that moment, the Avesh of Narad Muni entered into that wayward boy. He became the great Srivas Thakur, you know. So now his bhav was exactly like Narad Muni. From that moment. Advaita Acharya, when he heard this, he was amazed. He said, my Lord, you have proven true the statement of the Shastra. Matyo yada chakta samasta karma niveditatma vichitirsato me tadamritatvam pratipadyamana mayatma bhuyaya chakalpate vai. Krishna has said, if a person Chakta samasta karma, they give up all karmic activities. And niveditatma, they offer themselves to Krishna. Then, vichikirsa tome, Krishna says, from that moment, then I want to make that person special, and I send invisibly their spiritual body. And as they engage in bhakti, Chakshusha chakshuruta sotrasya srotram. That means as they're chanting and they begin to see Krishna and His qualities, because Krishna is the eye of your eye, Krishna is the ear of your ear. When you begin to see Krishna, then your spiritual eyes of your spiritual body open. When you begin to hear Krishna, your spiritual ears open. So in other words, concomitant with the gradual realization of Krishna Nam Rup Gun Lila is realization of your Nam Rup Gun Lila also. Your name, your spiritual body, everything, it awakens along with the realization of Krishna, and you get your eternal spiritual body. So Advaita Acharya said, "Oh my Lord, you have shown the world this fact, that those who serve you, they get a beautiful new spiritual form. So, by this pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will illustrate not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only made everyone chant from the moment he was born when he was a baby, but even this was, Srivas Thakur was about 30 years older than Mahaprabhu. This happened when he was 16. So even before Mahaprabhu came in this world, he was already inspiring great devotees like Srivas Thakur to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Swaram. Now it's become quite late. So tomorrow we'll explain how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare 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 Hare.